All right, everybody, this is Barely Audible, Episode 2, Music Legends, Sarcasm, and Albums That Never Die. I'm Bruce Dickey, welcome to Barely Audible. What have I been up to? Well, I've been working on a single with my buddy Kyle. Should be out soon. I talked to Kyle today, and he's been sick. He's had some kind of, I don't know, some kind of sinus infection or virus or something, but anyway, so he's on to that, and so no release date set just yet. I'm gonna just kind of see what Kyle has in store, but after that single release is finished, I'm gonna move on to video production, like putting like a slick video together for the single, and then probably have another single after that. So, music is tough, man. It's real easy to overextend yourself. You know, the system is designed to make you pay for it. It's sneaky. It's like, hey, man, this subscription will give you unlimited mixing and mastering, and it's only $6 a month. Or it's $18 a month. But that shit adds up, man. It fucking adds up. You know, you get $6 here, you get $18 there, and then you look at your statement at the end of the month, and it's just like, what the hell happened? So, anyway, I tried to do the write-offs thing. I was like, oh, I'll just, get this subscription or whatever, and I'll just write it off at the end of the year. But, man, they're onto that shit. So, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest. Our guest for episode 2, I'm super excited to have John Wisecarver here today with you guys.
Hello.
Yeah, give it up, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing really good.
Yeah?
I'm a little tired today, but yeah, I've just been going like crazy. Just a lot going on. Like you said, music is tough, and when you're doing that in a full-time job and a million other things, it adds up pretty quick.
And so you were born and raised in Columbus, Ohio, yeah?
Yep, that's right.
Cool. And you've been in Nashville 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years July, yeah.
And tell us a little bit about what it is you do.
What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like in general, or as a musician, or...
Well, let's start with... We'll start with music. If we have time to circle to coffee and other extracurriculars, we will. But we'll just start with music. Who do you play with?
So right now, the main gig is I play for one of my dear friends named Leilani Kilgore.
Leilani Kilgore, everybody.
She's just a badass human being and musician, guitar player, songwriter, singer, front woman. Just an icon waiting to emerge.
Front woman extraordinaire.
Yeah, absolutely. She's fantastic. So yeah, I play with her, and that's really the main gig. And then I play for a country band called Herrick, and I really love playing with them. It's also, that band's fronted by a woman as well, and she's fantastic. And her name's Donna Herrick. Her husband is Carrie Herrick.
Donna Herrick.
And it's great because it's a country band, but I'm still able to be who I am as a guitar player, which is basically not a country guitar player. So it's fun.
Sure. And I want to mention to everybody, you're a hell of a dude, man. I've messaged you multiple times, and I've sent you some weird messages over the years, and you're always super responsive, and you always give a really thoughtful response. And to all the listeners, I sent John a song a couple of years ago, and I was really stuck on it. Have you ever heard of the band Jet? Do you remember that band Jet?
Oh yeah.
So do you remember that song Cold Hard Bitch?
Yeah, that's
do you know how
classic
many fucking stops are in that song? Anyway, there's a bunch of stops. So I was working on a song and I was trying to do that. And it was way too just jerky and lurchy, and it just wasn't working. So I sent it to John and I was like, I don't know. I mean, I probably hadn't talked to you in a couple of years by that point, but I sent it to you and I was like, hey man, I don't know really what's not working with this song. Can you give it a listen and let me know what you think? And you sent me the feedback on that song that was so helpful. You were like, well, I would just keep cruising on I forget exactly how you worded it, but it was basically like, man, just keep cruising on the chorus. You don't need to do all those stops. Just keep going. And I think that's going to be your money. And that was the right call. And that was what finished that fucking song.
That's awesome, man.
And that saved me probably 2 hours of work with the band.
That's killer.
Yeah, because otherwise we would have sat there for 2 hours playing that fucker to death, just beating it to death. You play original music, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
So, with playing original music, you're just beating shit to death. You just beat it to a bloody pulp until it's right. And it can be very nerve-wracking. And you hear legendary stories of bands, just really, just of doing hundreds of takes of a song. But sometimes that's what you got to do. So, I mean, you saved my ass on that. So that's been probably the biggest contribution that you've made in my life. And I know you've made contributions in a lot of other people's lives too. I know Leilani is thrilled to fucking have you on board working with her. And let me just stop for a second. I want to talk about Leilani for a second. Can we delve on Leilani for a second before we get into our next topic?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Just give me a sec.
Yeah, we're going to need a drink before we talk about this.
So, for you guys that are hip to the whole Instagram thing, I'm going to say something maybe a little off the cuff that I don't mean to offend anybody, but you don't always get numbers by playing it safe. So I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to come out and say it. I thought Leilani was another Instagram guitar player before I heard her play.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean when I say Instagram guitar player?
I do. Yeah, yep, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and we don't really need to expand upon that. Just somebody that has a certain look or aesthetic, right? And they're like, oh, that person looks badass. They've got the tattoos. They've got the hair. They've got the black eyeliner. They've got the tight leather. They've got, they've just got that look. And for whatever reason, when I saw Leilani post something that was obviously sent to me through you, I thought that's what she was. But then I saw you guys play a show. You were playing a show in town at a club. I believe it was the Underdog.
Yeah.
And she was playing a slow blues.
Okay.
And she was a white Gibson SG.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it was a white Gibson SG. It was either
one?
white or red.
Maybe it was the red one, because I think it's been a little while ago. It was probably the red one.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
And I was stunned. She was just killing it. Like, what's it like to be up on stage with somebody that has what she has? Because she's not somebody that she's not like a female Axl Rose. She doesn't get up there and like say to the crowd like, hey, I'm the best fucking thing since sliced bread. She lets her fucking guitar do the talking.
She does. Like, she definitely has the look. But she's still one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. And that comes across on stage as well. But playing for her, it's like, as a musician, you just find those people that you connect with. Because I've played with a ton of different people in Nashville since I've been here. And there have been a handful of people that it was just easy to work with. And she was one of them. From the first show that we did together, it was like, okay, there's something here. Let's keep going. And this is actually the first time that I've not been the lead guitar player in the band. But I mean, as a musician, I feel like the most important thing you can do, no matter what your role is if you want to be a great musician and you want to have a successful career, you have to learn how to serve. You're serving the song by when you're writing, like you said, sometimes you have to beat it to death because you're serving the song, you're giving the song what it needs. You work your ass off in practice to be able to perform well because you're serving the audience that's in front of you. You're there to give them an experience. And also all the other members in the band. It's important that you are, you're thinking about, I need to do a good job because I know they're going to do a good job, and we need to be a tight unit.
Yeah, but let me stop you for a second. Isn't everybody that's chasing the dream nice?
Oh, no.
No? Especially people that can play. Like I'm thinking of one guy. We'll talk about him afterwards, but he's a fucking asshole, man. But he can play. He's played with some really big names. He's played with some really big people. Played ED as in perhaps his best years might be behind him.
Yeah, I might know who you're talking about.
You do know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's it's a weird thing because the music community is a very small community. People say it all the time, like Nashville is a very small town in regards to the network of people. And word travels fast, and if you're going to be an asshole, people are going to know about it, and eventually you're going to stop getting hired. It doesn't matter how good you are. And not even that, but like maybe you're just kind of weird. There's another guy.
Well, that may be, I mean, shit, man, I may be guilty of that. Fuck.
Like there's another guy who's a monster guitar player and start touring with a pretty big band. I think like even did one of the late shows or something with him. And he might have lasted 6 weeks.
That's not long, man.
Yeah, and they had to get rid of him. There just wasn't the chemistry there. He was a bit strange, and it just wasn't working out. But I mean, that's the important thing, So like with Leilani, with the chemistry we have, not only her and I, but the rest of the band. So I came on pretty much at the beginning of her starting this career as an original artist. And then shortly after, well, I mean, this goes to show too how much chemistry is important. So the first bass player that was with us was Logan Hatcher. And if you don't know who he is, you should. He's an incredible bass player, just a monster musician all around, a great human being, the hardest working person on Broadway. Like I would do a lead riff on the guitar and he would match it on bass.
He was one of those guys.
Oh, he's unbelievable. And and he was playing, and then we got Josh on bass. And I don't remember what the transition was all about, but now granted, I'll say that Josh is probably the best musician in the band now, but he's not.
Hold on. Who is Josh?
So Josh Rice, he is Leilani's bass player.
Leilani's okay.
Yeah. And like we brought him in, and it was a very different playing style than Logan.
How so?
It was a lot more laid back, a lot more simplistic. And
can he rock? Can he rock though? Can he rock out?
Oh, he can.
He knows where the one is.
Now that after about 6 months of him getting comfortable with the music and with us, he settled into something really sweet.
Yeah, but 6 months, dude, that's a long time.
I mean, maybe not 6 months. Maybe
that's a
few
long
months.
time. I mean, fuck, I would hope he would.
Well, I mean, we knew early on that he was sitting in good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to say it was like 6 months before we knew he was a good fit.
Okay,
but,
I gotcha.
But like after that time of really getting comfortable with us, with the music, he did start to open up a lot more. And I mean, now he'll do stuff like when we're in the studio recording a record. He'll pull stuff out. It's like, damn, dude, where'd that come from? It's so good.
Fuck yeah, man. All right, well, we're going to jump in. We could definitely keep this going, but I want to jump into our next topic.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to talk about Leilani, and again, give her my best. I've never met her. I feel like I know her. She seems really sweet, and let me know next time you guys are playing, because I'd love to come support you.
Yeah, actually, I think just as a plug, our first full-length album, her first full-length album, is coming out October 10th.
October 10th, people.
And we're going to have a release show. We don't know when or where yet because it's been hard to find a place, but we will have a release show. It'll be a huge show, a lot of guests, we hope. And yeah, that'll be the next one. So you'll definitely know about it.
Cool. Great. October 10th. So October 10th is when the album's coming out, not the release show, right?
Correct.
All right, cool. You got to say it 3 times, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you do.
You got to
right.
got to say shit 3 times now. Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to our main topic of discussion. This is a big one, man, and we had sort of gotten started on it before the tape started rolling. And so basically our big topic is AI and AI in music, specifically AI in music production. Not like AI like, oh, an AI playlist or something like that, but like how AI is affecting how music is made specifically. So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to jump in? What do you think?
Jump in. Let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you for saying that. Okay, so for me personally, I do use AI to make music more or less, but I don't use it in a way that maybe a lot of people associate with using it. So I think what a lot of people associate AI with in music is AI music itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like completely AI generated.
Just
music.
completely AI generated music, right? The cool thing about AI is it's a tool. It's a way to, like, okay, if I'm stuck on a lyric and I can't finish a verse, or I can't finish, specifically for lyric writing, because AI doesn't really have good ears, but it can read well. So with lyrics and shit, like if I get stuck on a lyric and I say, hey, finish this verse for me, it will give me 3 or 4 different options of just different wording. And I'll be honest, John, I'm not really a big lyrics guy. And I've always felt a little self-conscious about that. But then I've listened to interviews with other bands like Oasis and the Beatles. And I was reading a book last night, and John Lennon said they were talking about when he wrote Happiness is a Warm Gun on the White Album. And there was a specific lyric in that song that somebody had asked him about, and he was like, I don't know, man, it just sang well.
Yeah.
It just sang well. It wasn't the Mother Superior part. It was some part of the song. I can't think of what part of the song, but it sang well. So anyway, I use it to help me just kind of get to that next place, to just finish something that I started writing or composing on my own. So I use it to help me, but I don't. Okay, how about this? I had a guy, I won't say who it is. he sent me his YouTube channel and he said, "Hey man," he was pitching songs to me, John.
Like as a writer pitching them to you to perform?
Correct, to
Okay.
record. And he said, "Hey man, I've got these songs. They're AI generated. Ha ha ha. Like, and will you re-record them to where, you know, you're getting basically half of a writing credit and I get the other half of a writing credit?"
Yikes.
So I stupidly said, yeah. I said, yeah, sure, man. And I listened to something for a couple of seconds that I thought sounded okay. And it, you know, at first listen, I was like, this is all right. I could probably do something with this. And then I sat down and I tried to re-record what it was. And I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, what's the saying? Garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
You know, you're just going to, you know, you're going to polish a turd, man. You're polishing a fucking turd. And so I feel bad saying that, but I'm not saying the guy's name, right?
Yeah. No.
I mean, it's not a fucking gossip.
Because a lot of people are doing that right now. And it's, you know, it's tragic. So, I mean, you nailed it. You said it's a tool to use. And my fear with it, well, I mean, it's not even a fear because people are going to be able to just see right through the bullshit. But it's, I mean, so like you said, it's not human. It can't hear. There's no soul to it. There's no life to it. And, you know, to me, right now in its beginning phases, I'm comparing it to auto-tune. In the sense of like, auto-tune is a great tool and it's become more of a valuable tool because, you know, bands aren't going in the studio and living there for 3 months to record a record. And so sometimes like you have a good take that's heartfelt and soulful, but it's a little pitchy. And so maybe you tweak it up a little bit. Like, and to me, that's using it as a tool. That's not relying on it. Because you just can't sing. But obviously a lot of people have taken that and used it as a crutch because they can't sing. And so this tool becomes a crutch for people. And then what they're creating is lifeless. Actually, there's a producer, I think he's in town. I can't remember his name. I would say it because he's doing good shit. But he's got a YouTube channel. What he'll do is he'll take like a classic song and auto-tune the vocals on it.
Well, hold on. Let's stop for a second. Okay. So auto-tune is like what you would hear on like a Travis Scott recording, like a, you know, that roboticized bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
But there's something else called Melodyne. Have you heard of Melodyne?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Melodyne.
Melodyne.
Where
okay, so
like,
there's
where you're tuning the vocals.
Right. So there's auto-tune where you're correcting every fucking note.
Right.
And then there's tuning, which is where if I sing a really high note and I'm either a little sharp or a little flat, the engineer can go in and grab that note and slam it down just a couple cents or push it up.
Right.
Is that auto-tune?
Well, I mean, I just say auto-tune is a generic term.
Right.
But yeah, like tuning the vocals, you know, because before you just had to know how to sing.
Yeah.
And you had to hit that note. I mean, and you can sing, but, you know, like you said, you hit that high note, maybe it's a little pitchy. You know, before you had to hit it again and again until you got it. But
sure.
Now with budgets that are completely different, you know, people aren't going in with $100,000 into the studio to record anymore. But yeah, all that to say, it's like, it's a tool. And then, yeah, so this producer, he would take these classic songs and go through and tune the vocals. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing because it showed what's wrong with a lot of modern music. Mm-hmm. Like he did a Journey song and it went from this great song, because obviously Steve was an incredible vocalist.
Oh, one of the probably one of the greatest ever.
One of the greatest ever. And like one cool thing is if you looked at it, because you can see where the pitch is and then where, Melodyne wants it to be. He was spot on 99% of it. But a few little like human inflections here and there. And so he tuned the vocals as he would a modern song, and it sucked the life right out of the track.
Right. Well, again, I use it, but I don't use it to like correct every single.
Right. You don't use it because you can't sing. You use it to like, because you're going to have that really good take.
Right. Well, I use it. Okay. This is how I use it. So if I'm going for a really high note and I want to hold that high note, if I know that note is going to be tuned, I'm going to lean into it harder. So it's going to be more performance based rather than like, oh my God, like I'm not thinking, oh my God, that am I going to hit? Is my pitch going to be right? So there's this thing now where you can really lean into your, and it's the same thing with guitar playing of like, if you have like a lot of distortion or a lot of overdrive and you bend a note and that note is a little pitchy, depending on how your rig is set up, it may be okay.
Right.
Versus if you're playing fucking clean, like that's why that's one of the reasons I don't play a ton of country guitar, because it's like I'm grateful for the opportunity to having had done it, because it forced me to be able to bend in tune.
Yeah.
Because I had to bend notes without distortion or without overdrive.
Right.
But with singing, it's like, oh shit, I can go for this note. You know what I mean? And then I tune it and I'm like, well, fuck, it sounds better.
Well, see, yeah, I think that's a great example. It's like now as a performer, and as the performer that's going to be, that's editing your own vocals, you have that in the back of your mind that you can just go for it and you're going to get the emotion, you're going to get all that, and you're using it as a tool. And like, I used to work with this producer back in Ohio, a guy named Dave Matchek, and he would do some cool things with it. Mm-hmm. So he would take a vocal track and double it, just like copy the track, and then completely tune one of those, and then play it against the original track, and it would be like a really cool chorus effect.
I have done that, and it sounds fucking killer. And
yeah,
it sounds
super
better.
Cool.
It sounds better than if you tune both of them.
Right.
Because when you tune both, because when you tune both of them and then, especially a unison part, for you guys that don't know music, unison is where I sing the exact same part or play the exact same part over top. I don't deviate. I don't harmonize. I don't play. So if you sing a really high note and you hold it out for like a power chorus or something like that, and then you sing that part again, and then you tune that part, it's going to sound like dog shit 90% of the time.
Yeah, it's well, because that's
it's going to sound too slick.
You're taking too much of the human element out. And so that's like, tuning vocals and keeping the human in the music. And so okay, so now to AI, I think there are some really valuable things that it can be used for. The one example I always use is now you can take your song and you can translate it into any language you want in your voice. And I think that's fucking cool.
So what were you saying?
That's a great question.
I know, man.
What was I saying? We were talking about AI.
I was freaking out because that fucking screen went black.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that.
And I was like, did that computer just die?
AI is a tool. Yeah. Like, you can take your song and we can use AI to translate it into any language with your voice.
Say that again.
So okay, you release a song and now you want to release it in Spanish. You can use AI to translate your vocals into Spanish, and it's still your voice sonically.
It's fucking wild, dude.
Right, and it's because before a lot of times people, a record label or something might want you to record the song in Spanish, but now like you can do anything. You can release it in Europe and hit all the language and Swahili if you wanted to.
Swahili.
It's not going to rhyme. It's good, but like so that's cool because that's something that would be way beyond, and I think that's going to be something that can be very cool for music to start reaching more of a global market. Especially like I saw a good friend of mine, Matt, plays for Baby Metal, and they got a song on like the Billboard Top 200 now. I want to say it's like in the top 10 on the Billboard 200 list, and it's in Japanese. So like, for a rock and roll heavy metal track, and it's in a different language, to be that high up on the Billboard is amazing, but yeah, so like I think that's something cool that AI is going to be able to offer us as musicians, and and so like what you're using it for, I can understand that like you're struggling with the lyric, and I think I think
I'm
that's
embarrassed. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that, but I mean I'm being vulnerable to our listeners and saying, listen, like I'm not this fucking perfect songwriter, and like I'm gonna look for like anything that I can use to increase productivity, right? Because it's all about increasing productivity.
Absolutely.
Right. I saw a video the other day of. It was a Metallica video of, I guess it was probably like Saint Anger era. And Kurt Hammond is sitting there playing the same part over and 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 over. And it shows the band, it shows Lars sitting there just like looking like he's wanting to slit his wrist. And then it pans over to James, the singer. And, he's like rolling his eyes and like, then it like, and I left in the comments, I was just like, why didn't he just go home and work on that shit himself? Like, why do you need to be in a fucking room with 4 other people if you don't know your parts? Like, that's such a waste of time and money. Like, go home, learn your shit, and then come back and fucking,
those guys,
you know what I mean? Like,
those guys in particular
dude?
come from a very different school of recording.
How so?
Okay, so I mean, the perfect example is the Black Album. They were in the studio for a year. Like that was their lives for a year. I want to say like 2 of them were divorced by the end of it.
Yeah, and that was Bob Rock too. And
yeah,
he was a motherfucker to work with. I think that was the first time they had worked with an outside, like, hands-on, like, yeah, we're not going to do that fucking song kind of producer.
Yeah, I mean, but look what that album did for him.
He was not just a producer, he was an A&R guy too.
Right. And look what that album did for him.
Right.
I mean, it was a lot of work, but so they come from this school of thought that, they're probably writing a lot in the studio. For us, especially now, because how everything has changed with budgets and everything else, we're writing and demoing and working our ass off before we go in the studio. That way we can just knock it out and get it done. Like the full length that we just did with Leilani, it was actually a little bit different. We had 3 days at Sound Emporium here in Nashville, and I want to say
I love that place.
Oh,
man.
It's so great. And I want to say like 5 of the songs we were finished. We were very comfortable with, and then the rest of them there was a lot of experimenting and kind of writing and changing in the studio. Now that did take time.
Sure, yeah, you probably. And let me guess, the ones you knew, you guys did those first.
Yeah, we just knocked them out. We knocked them out because it's like, let's get these done. And
yeah, that's how it always goes, man. You do hey, we played this song last week. Let's do that one first.
Yep. Yeah, we wanted to, get it knocked out, and that gave us a good feel for the studio and a good feel for the engineer. But yeah, so yeah, like you were saying with Metallica, they come from this era of you're going to go do a new record, so you rent out a studio and you go and you live in there basically, and you're writing and recording this new record. You know, and I think a lot of that could be cool because you're hearing it back in real time and getting to hear these songs come to life. But yeah, so like what you're saying with Kirk and that, you know, I mean that was a struggle record anyway. Saint Anger.
I thought you were going to say the Black Album.
Oh,
but
no.
I think the Black Album was a struggle record
I mean,
too.
they fought. Well, I mean, Saint Anger is a struggle to listen to.
Well, I think they were kind of strung out by that point.
They were in bad shape.
Fucking strung out, dude.
Yeah,
they were fucked up, man.
But the Black Album was incredible. Yeah, and it shows like how much work went into it.
It's such a great sounding record too. It's never there's no part of it it's like ever too bright. Okay, let me ask you something. This was a big thing for them, man. Nothing Else Matters.
What do I think of it?
Would they have still had the career that they had that song not been put on the album?
Well, you know, the funny thing about that song that a lot of people don't realize is it's pretty much all James Hetfield. He did all the guitars, the solo, that's all him. He was tracking that when they were he was like in Studio B when they were in Studio A working on something else.
I think they fucking hated it. I think the band was like, dude, this is not Metallica.
I don't think they were into it, but he had a vision and, you know, was growing and maturing as an adult and as a musician. Yeah. And, yeah, you know, that's it's one of those ones like when, Journey had, maybe it was Faithfully. It was one of the tracks Jonathan Cain had on piano, and they were like, "No way!" Like, you know, no, this isn't ours. And then, of course, it ends up being one of the biggest tracks.
It probably was Faithfully, actually.
Yeah, just this beautiful piano part.
It's like okay, Faithfully, like Celine Dion could have done that song. You know, I'm reading an Aerosmith biography right now. Like Steven Tyler's talking about when they recorded "Don't Want to Miss a Thing." Like that song was pitched to Celine Dion, I think. It was a little different, like in terms of the instrumentation. It was like synthy and shit, but it was like, I mean, is a good song a good song?
A good song is a good song. You know, it's funny because speaking of Celine Dion, God, I need to look this up and just know what I'm talking about. But as far as I know, one of her biggest Christmas songs was written by Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like good songwriters are good songwriters.
Right. And I got one to match. What was that song? The Van Halen song with all the synth, like all the synthy stuff at the beginning. I'll Wait. I think it's called it's either I'll Wait till your love runs out.
Oh yeah.
Do you know who wrote that song?
Mm-mm.
It's gonna blow your fucking mind. Michael McDonald wrote that song.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that. I can hear it. Yeah.
So
It's
they
amazing.
had the instrumental down. So like they would go in, I think at that time Van Halen would go in and they would do everything instrumentally, and then they would have Dave come in and, you know, bang his vocal out and then go home, and, you know, but I think they came in and they Dave didn't have any lyrics and Eddie didn't have any lyrics, and who was the bass player? Michael Anthony. Yeah, I don't know if he was a lyric writer. For whatever reason, they didn't have any fucking lyrics for the song, but
but they just really like the music.
Well, I think Eddie knew that it was going to push the band forward because when you listen to it, especially the intro,
Yeah, because he started really getting into synth work.
It's like a Rocky jogging sequence, like montage sequence.
Yeah,
Like they could have played that in a fucking Rocky movie in like 1988 or whatever.
Yes.
You know, you're like Rocky's like running through a park and gives some dude like a high five, you know. Some like woman drops her groceries and grabs the groceries off the ground and like hands them to this lady, and she just like gives him a thumbs up, and then they like, you know, and he like jumps in the air, and then they like freeze frame.
Because it could have been like a good Mentos commercial,
right? And then it cuts back to, you know, Apollo Creed, and they're like hugging each other in the ocean with tank tops. So yeah, my point.
I'm not going to be able to listen to that song ever again.
I know, right? So like, hey, this is why we have the podcast, right? I gotta
Yeah.
I gotta paint a picture.
Yeah.
So they had Michael McDonald come in basically as like a staff writer, you know. I don't know if they paid him. I think they paid him. And so like he came in and, you know, sat in the studio with them for like a day. I don't even think it was a whole day. It was like a lunch. And he, you know, and just like had like a pad and pencil and just was like, here, play the track real quick. You know, and like, you know, jotted some lyrics down, which you don't do, man. Don't fucking do that. Like, you don't, like, you gotta, like, you know, don't show people how easy your job is as an artist, because it's like they're gonna be like, well, fuck, man, that took him 10 minutes.
Right, but how long did it take him to get to that point?
But that's not how people think, though, man.
Right.
They're like, oh, it only took him 10 fucking minutes, so we're not gonna pay him, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, the musicians and the artists know, you know.
Well, for whatever reason, I don't know what the disconnect was, but I think they paid him, but they didn't give him a writing credit.
Interesting.
So he was basically paid as a ghostwriter. A ghostwriter is like, not like Ghost Rider, like Nicolas Cage on a fucking motorcycle with a skull head, ghost writer, like paperback writer, you know. So it didn't come out until years later because, you know, maybe Michael McDonald thought that Van Halen had mob connections or something, and they probably did. But years later, I think when the band just got old, Michael McDonald was like, "Fuck it, I'm telling everybody." And so there was like, it just came out recently, I think, that he was a writer for an uncredited writer for that song, and it was one of their biggest songs.
Yeah. He should have made a few bucks off of that.
Yeah. So we're gonna shift gears for a second. We're gonna jump in real quick, and if you dig my music talk here, you might actually like the noise that I make when I'm not running my mouth. That's me, Bruce Dickey. I have music on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. Just type in Bruce Dickey, and hopefully you don't land on this other guy that plays Renaissance trumpet. And leave me a comment and send me a comment or whatever, and I'd love to have your support. So we're gonna shift gears for a second, okay? What do you want to talk about, man? We got a couple different things we can pull from because we are running out of time. We got about 10 minutes left. So we've got Nirvana, we've got Weezer. Beastie Boys, Tom Petty, or throwback album. So what do you want to talk about?
I'm gonna say this real quick and then I'll move on.
Oh, okay. Cool.
There is one reason that I could never be a DJ on a rock and roll station. And the one reason is because I would have to play Weezer. And
You'd have to play what?
Weezer.
Why?
Well, I mean, if you're on a rock station, you have to play some Weezer tunes.
What do you mean?
I'm saying I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Why?
I'm not a fan.
Oh, shit.
At all.
You're not a fan of Weezer?
Not a fan. I feel like the music is too, like, formulaic. And, like, I feel like it's lifeless. And can't stand it. I would get fired real quick because I would just, like, talk shit and not ever play the songs.
Weezer is like one of those bands that
like,
you don't like that everybody else likes.
It is. And, like, let me say, like, I hate to talk shit about other bands and artists.
I know you do.
Because, you know, those are my colleagues, whether I'm at their level or know them or not. Like, very talented writer. And because, what's the dude's name? I forget now.
Rivers Como.
Yeah. I think he's got, like, this like, pad of paper that he'll write different themes and different things on and be able to put them together. So, like, that's kind of cool. But for whatever it is, I just don't resonate with their music. And I'm just not a fan. Never heard anything bad about them as people. Like, I'm sure Rivers is a great guy, but
yeah, well, he did re-record all of the other guys' parts on the Blue album. I know that. Like, so, like,
you know,
the singer, the original guitar player, other guitarist, had like a nervous breakdown or something after he found out his girlfriend got pregnant. This was while they were recording the Blue album.
But it wasn't from listening to the music.
It might have been, actually.
That was wrong.
There was just too much social awkwardness in the music for him to carry on. So yeah, man, he redid all the parts. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We won't.
So that's it. Because I don't want to talk shit. I just can't resonate with them, and yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about Nirvana real quick. Okay.
Sure.
So, recently there was a guitar. Kurt Cobain was the lead singer of Nirvana. Guitar player, you know, kind of sloppy guitar player, you know, but he. Do you remember MTV Unplugged?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So did you ever watch Nirvana MTV Unplugged?
Yeah. I thought it was fantastic.
It was great, right? Cool. And Rivers Como wasn't there.
Maybe he was in the back.
He was in the back. I mean, he talked about in interviews years later that they were just trying to copy Nirvana. That's almost a quote. So anyway, the guitar that Kurt was playing on MTV Unplugged, okay, was a 1959 Martin D18E acoustic guitar, okay? And what do you think that guitar sold for recently?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, I would guess upwards of, I'm going to say over $500,000.
$6 million.
Oh
dollars.
my God. Hold on. So is that, I'm trying to think what the most expensive guitar that was sold. And I thought it was David Gilmour's Black Strat, but that was like a few years ago. So
this says record breaking.
Yeah, maybe that, because I thought Gilmour's went for like $2.5 million or something.
It did. I'm pretty sure it did. It was like 2.5.
Which broke a record.
So this broke a record. I think this holds the record right now. $6 million. Now, granted, it's a cool guitar. It's a 1959 Martin D18E. So, I mean, not everybody has one of those.
Right. I mean, even with his name not attached to that would probably go for a significant amount of money. But not I wouldn't say it would be worth. I don't know. I mean, I know some that's not even a pre-war Martin.
No, it's not. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, it may be 10 grand or
And
something.
Kurt played shitty guitars, right?
You know, I mean, he played that Jag. Didn't he play the Jag Stang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He designed the Jag Stang.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool. I mean, if, you know.
Well, I got more for you, okay?
All right, bring it.
All right. The Fender Mustang Sky Stang, I believe it was blue, used during the band's final show, also sold. Okay, what do you think it sold for?
Oh, man. I don't know. $3 million.
It was 1.5.
1.5
million. But still, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. If Kurt Cobain could see the price of the guitar,
oh, he'd be pissed.
he'd probably smash it again.
He probably would. Yeah, because that was Nirvana saying there's that one interview and they're talking about ticket prices.
Oh, yeah.
And, and I think it was like $30 or something. They're like, what, like $30 for a ticket?
Yeah, it was 50. It was $50
yeah.
for Madonna tickets.
Yeah,
$50
$50 like, for Madonna tickets.
$50. He had a fucking cigarette in his mouth, and he was just like, $50?
Yeah, like they couldn't believe that. Man, if they only saw it now.
I know, right? That's a topic for another.
Yeah,
that's a topic for another day.
But that's wild. Yeah, I haven't heard about his guitars being auctioned.
So Eddie Van Halen, right? We were just talking about Eddie, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the Kramer guitar?
Yeah, that one's going up now, right?
It's going up.
Yeah.
So it has not sold yet, right? But they're predicting that Eddie Van Halen's Frankenstein guitar,
mm-hmm.
the really beat up looking one that, my God, dude, it's iconic.
Well, no, that one's not the one selling though, is it?
I think it is.
Because I just saw Wolfie talking about how like it's not like he just tracked his new record with that guitar. Yeah, I think he said that one. The Kramer is going up.
Oh, okay. I thought the Kramer was the Frankenstein.
No, I think the Frankenstein was maybe originally a Strat that he gutted and put Gibson. Well, I mean, he invented the Super Strat in the sense of like gutting a Gibson Les Paul and putting the humbuckers in his Strat.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of debate over which pickup he used because he didn't know. He was also one to change his stories a lot.
And then, I mean, not only his stories, but all of his gear. He was constantly tinkering and swapping this out and that out.
But I think, back then especially, a Les Paul was like, my God, that was it. That's what you played. That's what you needed. I think he was kind of frustrated with he was a Les Paul guy. That's where he started.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff he did, needed to be a Les Paul.
But my point being is he was not going to take apart a Les Paul because those things were just so precious, especially for the time.
Sure.
So I think that pickup that he used in the Frankenstein guitar, was from a 335.
That I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But that's what a lot of people speculate. Okay, let's move on real quick. Okay, so all right, we went over that. Okay, what's your favorite? Are you a Nirvana fan?
I mean, overall, yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite song?
I don't.
You don't have a favorite song?
I don't, because I feel like a lot of their stuff was so, Kurt's magic was his songwriting, the simplicity of his songwriting.
Right.
And so, there's so much of their stuff I like. They were a true album band. You could sit down and just listen to the entire record.
Sure.
So
was there a song, but there wasn't a song in your head that stands out from when you first heard them?
Probably Come As You Are.
Yeah.
There was just something about that riff and then the way the song drove. It was just that one. Yeah.
You want to know what mine was?
I do.
It was Lithium. Do you remember that song?
Oh yeah, dude. Lithium was sick.
Yeah. So there was a line in Lithium that, and I didn't know what lithium was then, and I didn't know what it was used for. I was pretty young. So there was a line in Lithium that was, "I'm so ugly, that's okay, 'cause so are you."
Yeah.
And that was so apropos for like the early 90s. People just didn't talk like that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it was such an ironic way for a young person to speak. A young person, like I'm like old as shit. I'm not that old. But I think for the time, like in the early 90s, to sing something like, "I'm so ugly, that's okay, 'cause so are you." There's irony there.
Yeah. No, I mean, he was an absolutely brilliant songwriter, and I think that's what was missed. Because it went from this very, we went from the '80s rock and roll
Right.
that was a lot of like very sophisticated music and compositions and these vocalists that could get very operatic and to Nirvana, which now we got a dude wearing a cardigan playing a offset shitty Fender and sometimes he's screaming into the mic, sometimes he's just singing real soft.
Yeah.
Took the show out of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't this big production, but then when you really start to listen to what they're doing, you're like, man, these songs are brilliant. The way they're written, the way they're composed, everything about them.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're about out of time. So just real quick, I want to give a quick shout out about somebody. And so I want to give a quick shout out to Kashina Sampson. Have you heard of Kashina Sampson?
I'm not.
Okay, so Kashina is like the underground artist. Okay, I want to mention an underground artist. We already mentioned, well, Leilani's not underground, is she? Is she on a label?
She's underground. We're not on a label, no.
Okay.
But I mean, we've done some cool above ground shit.
Yeah, for sure. Buddy Guy.
Yeah, opened up for Limp Bizkit a couple.
Limp
years
Bizkit,
ago.
Buddy Guy,
Yeah,
Joe
we did some
Joe
shows.
Bonamassa. I know she's friends with Joe.
Yeah, we just did his cruise a few months ago.
Yeah, dude.
We just did 2 nights with Kingfish.
Yeah.
He's super. Yeah. So it's
Do people call him Kingfish?
There was a lady that called him Catfish. Yeah, and I think most of the fans call him Kingfish, but like, I mean, he's Chris Tone, and that's how he introduces himself.
I think he's.
Yeah.
I think the Kingfish
That's who I
thing.
know.
Kingfish that's a great name. That's a great name.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Because it's easy to remember. It's bluesy. It kind of rocks too. It's got a bit of a hard edge to it. Like Kingfish, like, okay, I'm not just a fish. I'm the king of fish.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you were just fish, you'd be, well, that's another topic. But,
yeah.
So anyway, so Kashina has an album coming out called Ghost of Me. She came out with an album called Wild Heart in 2017. And did you ever listen to Fleetwood Mac back in the day?
Yeah.
Or do you listen to like any kind of I'm sure you can appreciate oh damn it, I just forgot her name. Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. Yeah. So you can tell like she's she's doing the Stevie Nicks thing, like kind of nasally, kind of witchy, but it's like super 70s. It's like if you're gonna go 70s production, go all in.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to check her out.
All in. I mean, like,
nice.
Just in terms of like not being afraid to lean into that, and I think there's,
really
it's kind of like she doesn't have like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. She's owning it. She's like, yeah, I want this to sound like a 70s record, so I'm gonna lean into it hard.
All
so
right.
it's great.
I'm gonna have to listen to that on my way home.
Go check out Kashina. Is there anything else, John, that you want to say before we close out? Anything that you want to say directly to our listeners? Is there anything you want to say to any up and budding musicians that are maybe just getting started, or Just anything at all? You got just like 1 minute?
Yeah, you just gotta keep going. The only musicians that fail are the ones that stop. I think failure is an absolute choice in this industry. You never know where you're going to end up or who you're going to end up playing with or for. Do it because you love it and just don't stop.
Yeah, and I think Seth Rogen said, if you don't quit, you might make it. And if you quit,
Yep.
you definitely won't.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah, I found that on TikTok like a couple of months ago, and I shared it, and it got a lot of love, So, yeah, don't give up. And don't be, for me, if I have one thing to say, it would be like, don't feel like you have to play everything perfect, like practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. But don't be afraid to kind of lean into the weird, like just because you like Derek Trucks doesn't mean you need to try to sound exactly like fucking Derek Trucks. Or just because you like Jimi Hendrix doesn't mean you need to lean in and sound exactly like Jimi Hendrix. Just because you like Eric Clapton doesn't mean you need to lean in and sound like Eric Clapton. At a certain point, you're going to have to jump into the abyss and you're going to have to make a decision. Hey, I just want to sound like me. And for me, that was kind of dumbing things down a bit, John.
I get that.
Yeah. I mean, I just knew that I was just never going to be that of my heroes. I'm never going to play like Eddie Van Halen.
You nailed it though. Like you practice, you constantly practice.
Yeah.
And like the biggest thing I can tell people is, because like I like to play live, and you're going to get better the more you play live. You can't just stay in your bedroom all the time practicing. That's only going to get you so far. But like the biggest thing, if it's an encouragement at all to people, like for me, am I going to fuck up on stage next time I play?
Yes, of course.
Yep.
But that
you may not know it.
Yeah.
But I will. But like, it's not going to be perfect. But I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to convey some emotion through the song.
Right.
And and that's going to be sometimes.
And you're not practicing on stage, damn it. You're
Right.
playing a fucking show. Play the show. You're not up there to practice.
Exactly.
You're not up there to execute everything so perfectly. People want to see spontaneity. I mean, they want to see, they want to see organized spontaneity. Like, as in, I don't want to go watch a band jam on a song for like 30 minutes. To me, that bores me. I like to see some level of like, hey, this song has some form to it, but I don't want to see somebody that is just there just to be on autopilot all night. And there's exceptions to that. The exceptions would be like somebody like Reggie Wooten, who I think you and I may have played with, or no, did you play? Was Reggie there that night you and I played? When we were playing that corporate show?
Possibly. I've done a few gigs with Reggie.
Yeah. So Reggie Wooten, he's on autopilot part of the night, but then he has a moment where there's like maybe a 10-minute or 20-minute little thing, maybe in the middle or the end of the night, where he just gets up and just absolutely just annihilates with his guitar work and his years of experience. And it's never the same. And it can be hard to listen to sometimes, because his tone is just so bright and like in your face and spiky. But he's a perfect example of somebody that can lay back for part of the night and just kind of be a musician. For maybe 80% of the night, he's just there as a support role, right? And then that other 20% is him like getting out and being the guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, and he's got his, a very unique player, and a very creative. Like, I mean, I've seen some of his guitars, and they're wild. He likes to do wild stuff and make some wild noises with those things.
He is, man, and he's not yeah, man. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of people out there like him. He's like taking Hendrix and Van Halen and kind of like fusing those two things together, but obviously a lot of other styles of music too, R&B and gospel, and like I hear some 80s new wave stuff in there. He does a killer version of Purple Rain. And one more thing, and then we'll close on Reggie Wooten. So the night that I played with him, he was sitting at the bar, and I thought he was drinking, and and I walked up to him, and he was eating carrots. He had like a plate of carrots, and he was eating like carrots and celery, and I was like, I kind of like did like a double take, like, man, oh, okay, I didn't mean to interrupt your dinner. And he kind of just looked at me, and he's like, man, I just, you gotta take care of your body. He just said it in a super cool sort of way, and I just thought that was so cool. I was like, you're such a rock star, but by the same token, that's just like so almost like anti-rock star, to just like there's something very like safe about taking care of your body, but at the same token, like rock stars grow up, dude, and they have kids,
right?
And then they have grandchildren, and then they're like, well, shit, I'm not just a rock star, like I'm a granddad, or I'm like, maybe their neighbors got like, who knows, like whatever other thing.
I love all those
trickles
photos
into their life.
I love everything that's been coming out with Ozzy, and like just all the shots and the videos of him with his grandkids. It's like, it's so beautiful. He was such a funny, real, loving, lovable human being.
And sure, and that stuff doesn't sell. That's not gonna like sell him records. Like,
right, he had to be the Prince of Darkness,
grandkids.
but he was just really a funny, loving guy.
But at the same time, it's not all about the fucking numbers. At a certain point, you have to become human, because not even just for numbers' sake, it's for your own sanity. I think, at a certain point, 100%. You just have to become...
You have to be able to be you, authentically who you are.
Authentically who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what if you suck?
Well, then you're really not going to make it that far.
Yeah. Or what if you're the nicest person in the world, and everybody's like, man, he's too nice. He's too down to earth.
I don't know, man. I think I don't.
Or do people just, or just people not think that way?
I hope they don't think that way.
I hope they don't. What about somebody like Axl Rose? People still or Oasis. People still buy those tickets knowing that those guys are dicks.
I mean, that's like, especially with Axl, that's an interesting one. I mean, we can go on and on with that, but obviously there was not a healthy dynamic within Guns N' Roses.
Sure.
And I mean, they really didn't last long if you look at it.
No.
It's like 6 years maybe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then their Vegas years, their greatest hits years, which, hey man, they didn't count. They're still doing it, man. They're doing it right now. They're probably playing a show in South America right now.
Well, I mean, now that they're back together, I think that's cool. It's like, now it's Guns N' Roses again.
Yeah, it's Guns N' Roses again. I think they're making, money hand over fist too.
Insane
which I
amounts
think
of money.
for those guys, it's you gotta. I mean, dude, they're LA guys, so there's a status quo that I think exists in LA.
Well, yeah, you got to make $1 million a show just to have a cheap apartment.
Yeah,
in LA.
Yeah, and it's like in Nashville that doesn't really hold true, although that is changing somewhat. But I mean, it's like, point being is like, you don't have to be this like mega rock star to like exist in Nashville. Like, you can still go out and play shows and network and meet people and grow your base, not showing up to a gig in a Ferrari, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, John, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming out. And yeah, you guys look for John Wisecarver. Dude, I keep fucking up your name.
No, that's
John
the first
Wisecarver.
time you did it.
That was the first time I fucked it up?
Yeah. Yeah, you were doing good.
John Wisecarver. There, I just messed it up again. Maybe I need a sip of water. Oh. I don't have any left. John Wisecarver, everybody. Give it up for him. And go
Thank you
check
so
him
much for
out.
having me.
Leilani Kilgore, October 10th, album coming out. What else is coming up with the other artists that you're playing with?
Yeah, we're actually working on a record right now.
Who's that artist again?
It's called Herrick.
Herrick.
Yeah, Herrick. They're fantastic.
Yeah. What do they got going?
We're working on a record as well. I was just in the studio 2 days ago.
Killer.
Yeah, knocking out a few tracks with them. Yeah, you can find them just, I think, herricklive.com is that website for Leilani. Just LeilaniKilgore.com.
LeilaniKilgore.com.
Good luck spelling that.
Yeah.
Just, do a Google voice search or something. It'll find her.
I'll put it in the notes,
there you
the
go.
episode notes too.
Beautiful.
So I'll help push that too for those that can't spell. So, or that have a hard time spelling like myself. Or just some people don't speak English as a first language.
That's true.
That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
It's like music is a universal fucking language.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. Very much appreciate John stopping by. And stay tuned for episode 3 of the podcast, Barely Audible. Thank you guys again. We're out.